In the autumn of 1979, in a quiet town in Nagasaki Prefecture, children began refusing to walk home alone. Not because of a killer, not because of a kidnapper, but because of a question. A woman would appear on the road, a circumflex surgical mask over her face, long coat, hair falling straight and black past her waist. She would stop you, and she would ask you one thing. Watashi kairi? Am I beautiful? There is no correct answer. There has never been a correct answer. And that is precisely the point. To understand what she wants, you have to understand what was taken from her. The oldest telling places her in the Heian period, a circumflex the wife of a samurai. She was famously, dangerously beautiful. And she knew it. She would sit before her bronze mirror for hours, turning her face left, then right, learning every angle of her own perfection. Her husband was a jealous man. Jealous in the way that curdles into something worse. He watched her admire herself, and he became convinced, a circumflex with no evidence, only the corrosion of his own suspicion, a circumflex that she was giving that beauty to someone else. One evening, he did not shout. He did not accuse. He waited until she was seated at her mirror. He knelt behind her. He drew his blade, a circumflex a short one, a tanto, a circumflex and he took her chin in his hand almost gently, the way a husband might. And he cut. From the left corner of her mouth, through her cheek, to her ear. Then the right. A single, symmetrical, deliberate mutilation. He held her head so she could not look away from the mirror. And he asked her, "Who will think you're beautiful now?" She did not die in that room. That is the crucial detail, a circumflex the one the story insists on. She lived. She lived long enough to see her own reflection. Long enough for the wound to become the whole of her identity. Some tellings say she bled out in the street, running, her ruined mouth open in a scream that produced no sound anyone could stand to hear. Some say she survived for years, veiled, hidden, hated. But all of them agree on this: when she died, she did not go where the dead go. She stayed. And she brought the question with her. Here is how it happens. You are walking alone. It is dusk or later. The street is one you've walked 100 times. A woman is ahead of you. She is wearing a long tan coat and a white surgical mask, a circumflex which, in Japan, means nothing at all. Half the country wears them. A cold, allergies, courtesy. Your brain files her away as ordinary. She turns. And she asks, "Watashi kairi? Am I beautiful?" Now, consider your options carefully, because you have perhaps 4 seconds. If you say no, a circumflex she does not argue. She does not weep. She reaches into her coat and produces a pair of scissors. Long tailor's shears, or in some tellings a rusted sickle. And she kills you where you stand. Quickly. Almost bureaucratically. You gave the wrong answer. If you say yes, a circumflex she thanks you. She reaches up and she removes the mask. Beneath it, her mouth is opened from ear to ear. Her jaw hangs in a grin that is not a grin. Teeth exposed to the molars. Muscle. Bone. The wound is not old and healed, a circumflex it is fresh, always fresh, weeping. And she leans close, and she asks again, "Core demo? Even like this?" If you say no now, a circumflex she cuts you down for the lie you've just revealed. If you say yes, a circumflex euros, she does not kill you. She shares it with you. She takes the scissors and she gives you a mouth like hers. So that you can be beautiful too. So that you will understand. She does this as a kindness. This is the part that makes her genuinely terrible. A circumflex euros, she is not being ironic. She believes she is granting you a gift. And she will follow you home to make sure you keep it. Now here is where the story stops being a story. Between the spring and autumn of 1979, Japan experienced a genuine mass panic. It began as a rumor among schoolchildren in Gifu Prefecture, and it spread a circumflex euros not through media, but mouth to mouth, playground to playground, a circumflex euros across the entire country. Children were escorted home in groups. Some schools sent teachers to walk students to their doors. In several prefectures, police departments increased patrols in residential neighborhoods. A circumflex euros not because they believed in her, but because the fear had become the emergency. Newspapers ran editorials attempting to calm parents. Reports circulated of a woman arrested for chasing children while carrying a knife. Whether that arrest happened, or was itself a rumor that hardened into fact, has never been fully resolved. That is the thing about her. She spread like an infection through the one vector that has never needed proof, a child telling another child this is true, and it happened near here. And she never really left. In 2004, the story resurfaced in South Korea. In 2007, a coroner in Japan reportedly connected the modern legend back to an actual 1970s incident. A circumflex euros, a woman with a facially disfiguring injury chasing children, struck and killed by a car. The legend does not need to be true. It only needs to be repeated. So, if you meet her, a circumflex euros, and this is the part you should remember, a circumflex euros, there are 3 known ways out. 1. Answer ambiguously. Say so. Say you look average. Say I'm not sure. She has no protocol for uncertainty. The confusion buys you seconds. A circumflex euros, enough to run. She is fast. Some tellings say she can cover 100 meters in 3 seconds. But she cannot process a question she hasn't been asked before. 2. Give her something. Hard candy. Kuchisake-onna. Throw it at her feet. She will stop to gather it, and in that moment you are free. Why candy works no one can quite explain. Perhaps because it is the first thing anyone has offered her in 800 years that wasn't an opinion about her face. 3. Say pomade. Say it 3 times. Pomade, pomade, pomade. In the older tellings, the man who mutilated her was a doctor, a circumflex euros, and he wore hair pomade, and she smelled it as he worked. The word paralyzes her. It sends her somewhere else. It sends her back. Here is what unsettles me most about her. She is not asking to be feared. She is asking to be seen. She stops strangers in the street, again and again, for centuries, and she asks the only question that ever mattered to her, a circumflex euros, and she has never once received an answer she could survive. So she keeps asking. And the terrible thing is that if you ever meet her, you will lie. You will say yes because you're afraid. And she will know. She has always known. Watashi, Kairi?